There you are. I hope I find you well. John Augustine back again. Let's talk. It's good to talk, isn't it? Nothing worse going around and a person that you meet hasn't got two words to rub together. So here we are. So today is Friday, isn't it? It is, I think. So trees. So what do we know about trees? Well, there's a lot to know about trees. First of all, I talk to the trees, but they don't listen to me. That's a song. And then there's another one. Um, another one. Phil Harris. Would would man spare that tree? Cut not a single bough. And he goes on about it. So trees. Well, first of all, trees is good for the air. Now we're not talking about the climate nonsense that some yokes talk about. We're talking about the air. It takes in things and then puts out things, and good. And then birds can build their nests in it. And I have some in my back garden, about half an acre. Takes a bit of looking after. When the weather now will have to be cut it. When the weather is, just the growth is, so it'd be busy enough then. When that comes, that has to be done. But it will read on more, so it's not so bad. But then you have to try to get out, lift the thing up. I mean, there's supposed to be a hand doing it, but that handle fell off or something. You see, they don't last, do they? And it's not old. It's not as old as me. Matter of fact, it's only a few years. Anyways, I then lifted it up, and then when you shake it out, uh, you move a bit and then lift it up again because it doesn't always come out. And then off you go, and you go before and let the basket would rattle so as it fits in, And then off I go. But this is I'm talking about cutting the grass now. There you go. But there's trees there, and the tree that was outside the window one time, and we used to put something for the boards on it, like a little thing with jigs, and make sure that no cat. Well, we don't have a cat, but the one from a neighbour, there's a farmer, sticks a snout around, and we run it. As soon as it sees me, it gallops. And I don't want them because I like the birds, and we have blackbirds and little rabbits there, and other little lads, little chaffinches, and I put something on the windows for them, and they're able to get their bit and all this. So these are things that one does for the birds, and then they have their in the trees and that, and in the hedge, there's good hedges and that, and trees, and they're able to they're able to have a bit of shelter there because sometimes it's very cold in the winter, and a bit of a sharp wind blowing blow the head off you and freeze you. Even today, it's shining, but when you go out, God Almighty, you can feel the chill. You have to wear a coat and put on a hat, but it's all right for some that's kind of maybe fitter. I see some poor idiots going around with short trousers, men that should know better, but if the lights are out, we don't know what way they're living. Because only a lunatic could go around in this weather with a short trousers. When I was young, we had short trousers up to about 12. But that was different. You were hardy, I suppose, but then you felt the cold. The cold. The cold. The cold. You have to be articulate. So, where would you see a lot of people live in apartments and they might have a window box or maybe they might have a balcony. But the trouble is, if you have a balcony, then others have balconies and they can make a lot of racket. in the summertime. So balconies can be a good thing and a bad thing. But if you have a bit of a thing out in your apartment that you can put some flowers out, and I often see that. So to have some little bit of feeling of greenery and that, and people need something like that. And then they might have a plant or two inside. I've often seen that in apartments. And and the main thing is an apartment wants to be quiet or soundproof. There's nothing worse than an apartment and hearing next door or the one above you. And there's a great company or the Catholic League in New York, led by um, Dr. Bill Donahue, second generation or third generation Irishman leading the Catholic League. And he does a great job standing up for the Catholic faith all around that country. There's thousands of members. I'm a member as well. Yeah. And I like what he does. I get emails and various issues. There's nothing but problems in that country, as far as I can see. But there's one snag. He said Madison Square Gardens, but that's gone downhill. There's all these ones living in kind of little tents or something. So all the well-to-do that was in living in Madison are trying to clear it out. So houses have skyrocketed in Queens, where I know some people and where my late wife's sister was living in Queens. Beechhurst, she was living in a nice detached house with a garden in the front, good size, and one in the back, and two balconies at the back, very commodious, very nice. But you're living there is a different ball game altogether. You've all sorts living around, haven't you? Yeah. Anyways, but then it was a nice area, and people now are trying to move there from. So prices have gone up. Extraordinary, isn't it? Demand. If the demand exceeds supply, that's why you get topsy turvy. Now, so trees. So trees are a great asset. They give shelter to the birds, and we can't talk to them because they won't answer. But we don't want to overdo it. Trees are there for a purpose. To give a bit of pleasure when the leaves come in the summer. In the winter, their leaves are shed and they're, shall we say, gone bald. And not alone bald, but they're, when the wind comes, at least they're not full of leaves because if they were, it might fall. And then, lucky enough, if you got a hurricane, you'd be up the creek. Well, I'm going to say up the creek without a paddle, you'd be in trouble. So there we are, trees. Well, anyways, we've had good winds here, I can tell you. Caused a lot of harm and lights out and all the rest of it, people in darkness. Having to light candles or whatever they might have. Maybe they might have a wicker lamp so as you could see one another. You look different in the dark or when there's only a candle going. Mysterious. But trees, I wouldn't say me kingdom for a tree, no, it was me kingdom for a horse, wasn't it? Um, I don't know, horses. I did that years ago. I was on a horse and I had a helmet, but it wasn't a great thing. I remember one time, yeah, in the farm where I was, which was down in Wexford, and they had horses and this, that, and the other, and people used to avail of that wouldn't be normally into that. Anyway, so I was doing it, but there was an English one doing it, and as far as I'm concerned, she was a first class idiot. And the husband of the lady that seemed to be more active, he was, they were laying some kind of a wire on the ground, and he says, "Be careful." And I said to myself, "Would you, for God's sake, take the wire away?" mean, it's not if you can, but there was, but my horse was a white one, but because we didn't get stuck in this bloody wire, and I mean, I was thrown off. Luckily enough, it was in a ditch or whatever it was, or so I wasn't hurt because I fell and didn't fall in concrete or anything. I fell in a ditch, and but I gave out to the one at the time. I said, would you think you'd have done something about it that when ones are amateurs, that the horse wouldn't be, it's not every horse can walk, be trained to go over the wire. It was just down, it was low, it wasn't any more than that height. But it's enough for problems and it caused the horse that I had. So it didn't bother me. Well, I did, but I didn't go with her anymore. I wouldn't. And so I did that, and it was nice. And sometimes I went through a bird canter, but it's shaky. You feel as stiff as a poker when you get coming off. I did anyway. And one time then I did it in Phoenix Park in Dublin. But the horses there are very jittery. I'll be the Lord Harry, it wasn't a bit nice. And that was the last time I did that. So some fella says I hung up the boots. You had to have one of the boots as well. And on this little college. No, not into my. It's not my favourite. So we're talking about threes. I digressed into horses. Anyways, I think that's enough talking. And I hope you have trees where you live, or at least you can take a walk in a forest or something, because there's plenty of forest over there. Francis and Knopfler, every little village has great walks and forests and all the rest of it. Marvellous, they're very well provided for in that country. And I think in the United States they have plenty of walks as well, because I remember when I was in New York in 2004, and then out in New Jersey, a place called Cresskill, near Lafayette. And what was it? Not Lafayette, where Bruce Springsteen, the singer, was from. It was near Cresskill, and we spent a day there. As my wife's sister drove us down, and then we took a tour around, and we had a very interesting day. Yeah, very interesting. Met a Nourish person that was, I think, in the army and in some kind of retirement home in the general area. So you wouldn't know who you'd come across. I didn't know anything about Bruce Springsteen. I didn't into his type of music. I like classical music. I always did. And so there we are, trees. Now, I think that's the end of that, isn't it? Yeah. Bye now, and I'll be tomorrow in the morning. I'll be doing the usual prayers. Bye now. Enjoy the rest of your evening.